In today's video, we will be taking you down memory lane to some of your favorite 2000s R&B singers, their journey through fame and the music industry, taking a look at their successes and setbacks as well as where they are now. Watch the whole video to the end to see how many of these rising Y2K stars you remember. Let's get into it. Cheri Dennis, born on August 25th, 1979, hails from Cleveland, Ohio. Before her music career, she studied business at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Cheri initially gained recognition as a background vocalist for artists such as Mase and Diddy. She signed to Bad Boy Records in the early 2000s and began working on her debut album. In 2008, she released her self-titled debut album, which debuted at number 74 on the Billboard 200 chart. The lead single, I Love You, peaked at number 43 on the Billboard Hot 100. Despite her vocal talent and the album's major label production, it didn't achieve significant commercial success. She struggled to break through in a competitive R&B market dominated at the time by established artists like Teairra, Beyoncé, and Alicia Keys. Despite modest album sales, tracks like Portrait of Love, featuring Young Jock, managed to show her potential as an artist. But even with her talent and the backing of Bad Boy Records, Cheri faced challenges establishing herself as a solo artist. The transition from background vocalist to solo performer proved daunting. The shadow of her label mates at Bad Boy Records, coupled with shifting trends in the music industry, posed challenges to her success. There was also disagreement regarding her image and musical direction. Cheri battled the label over her creative freedom. After releasing her lead single, I Love You, she was offered another track of the same title, but this time as a slowed, mid-tempo love song. Almost as a nod to the earlier Bad Boy days when a remixed track meant the song was reimagined and transformed into almost an entirely new song but of a similar concept. Cheri resisted this idea and declined the new version of the song as a follow-up single as she felt having two songs with the same name was too much of the same and would be poorly received. That song was then handed to Bad Boy veteran Faith Evans, where the song went on to become Faith Evans' most successful solo performance to date, spending 21 weeks on Billboard, peaking at number 2 on the US Hot 100 charts. So, what do you think? Did Cheri make the right call, or should she have followed the label's direction instead? Do you think it would have made a difference in her career? Comment your thoughts below. Since the release of her debut album, Cheri Dennis has maintained a low profile in the music industry. She has occasionally surfaced to do paid appearance gigs, but hasn't released any solo projects and maintains a relatively private life. Number 11. Lumidee. Born on August 24th, 1984. Lumidee burst onto the music scene in 2003 with her debut single, Never Leave You, which sampled the instrumental riff from Dance With Me by Jamaican artist Michael Gordon. The song became an international sensation, reaching the top of the charts in several countries and peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Her infectious energy and catchy melodies captivated audiences worldwide, establishing her as a rising star in the R&B genre. Following the success of her debut single, Lumidee released her debut album, Almost Famous, in 2003, which featured collaborations with artists like Busta Rhymes and Snoop Dogg. Despite the breakout hit, subsequent releases failed to replicate the same level of success. Never Leave You has undeniably become one of the most iconic songs of the 2000s era, and it has managed to become a timeless hit in its own right. Since then, Lumidee has struggled to break free from the shadow of her breakthrough hit. In recent years, Lumidee has continued to pursue her passion for music by releasing new music independently and collaborating with other artists. She still performs periodically, delighting fans with her nostalgic hit. Lumidee was recently added to the lineup of the Lover and Friends Festival, where she will share the stage with other iconic artists of the early 2000s. Her impact on the music industry continues to be felt, with artists like Nicki Minaj using her iconic sample in songs like Red Ruby the Sleaze, proving Lumidee's lasting influence on contemporary music. Today, she remains active on social media while keeping her personal life and motherhood journey mostly private. Number 10. Teairra Mari. Teairra Mari, born on December 2nd, 1987, is from Detroit, Michigan. She showed promise at a young age, participating in talent competitions and local performances throughout her childhood. At the age of 16, she caught the attention of music industry veteran Big Mike, who introduced her to producer Daryl Simmons. This led to her signing with Def Jam Records. Teairra burst onto the R&B scene in 2005 with her debut single, Make Her Feel Good, which gained attention for its commanding lyrics, catchy melody, and confident vocals. Her self-titled debut album was released in 2005, debuting at number 5 on the Billboard 200 chart. The album spawned several singles, including No Daddy and Phone Booth, showcasing Marie's musical versatility. The album featured collaborations with prominent artists like Kanye West and production from hitmaker duo The Neptunes. Despite a promising start, subsequent releases struggled to pick up steam. Teairra's weakening sales impacted her label's faith in her commercial viability. It has long been speculated that label executives shelved Teairra's music career early on and decided to instead push her label mate Rihanna to the forefront, as they believed Rihanna had greater potential for large commercial success than Teairra did. Teairra Mari has since faced personal and professional challenges throughout her career. Legal disputes with record labels and rapper 50 Cent and struggles with alcoholism hindered her progress in the industry. Despite her undeniable talent, Marie struggled to maintain momentum after the success of her debut album. The changing dynamics of the music industry, coupled with personal setbacks and lack of label support, contributed to a decline in her mainstream visibility. In more recent years, Teairra Mari has made occasional appearances in reality television, including as a full-time cast member of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, where she shared her personal struggles with a wider audience. She has also been working on new music independently, aiming to reconnect with her passion for singing and songwriting. While she may not be as prominent in the mainstream music scene, Marie continues to pursue music independently and remains resilient in the face of adversity. Number 9. Olivia. Olivia Teresa Longat, known professionally as simply Olivia, was born on February 15, 1981, in Brooklyn, New York. She developed a passion for singing at a young age and started performing as a teenager. Olivia rose to prominence in the early 2000s as the first lady of 50 Cent's musical group G-Unit. She gained attention for being featured on several tracks with the group, but it wasn't her first shot at mainstream success. In 2001, she released her debut solo single Bizounce, which went to chart at number 15 on Billboard. However, her success fell flat. It wasn't until 2004 that Olivia was signed to G-Unit. She remained a part of the group until 2007 as the sole female member. Her best-known song from this period is Candy Shop with 50 Cent. She also released the singles So Sexy and Twist It with Lloyd Banks on the label. In 2005, she released her debut album Olivia, which featured collaborations with renowned artists like Missy Elliott. The album's lead single, Twist It, received favorable reviews. However, the album struggled to do well commercially. Despite her vocal talent and potential, Olivia's solo career failed to gain the traction she had hoped for, so she decided to part ways with her record label. As a result, her second studio album, Behind Closed Doors, was shelved only to be leaked online later on. She continued music as an independent artist, but had difficulties funding and promoting her projects. In an effort to gain mainstream visibility, Olivia ventured into other avenues outside of music. She has made appearances on reality television shows, including Love and Hip Hop New York, where she shared insights into her personal life. She went on to gain some traction with the release of her soulful song titled December. The song peaked at number 76 on the Billboard Hot R&B Songs chart, charting higher than her G-Unit-backed debut single, Twist It. But it still proved to be far from a smash hit. After a 7-year hiatus, Olivia returned to Love and Hip Hop New York for its 10th anniversary season. Olivia has taken a break from music and currently enjoying life as a free spirit, but she still maintains a loyal fan base ready to support future music projects of hers to come. Number 8, Nicole Wray. Now wait, I know she technically debuted in the late 90s, but if you grew up on 2000s music, then you definitely consider Nicole Wray a part of the era. Nicole Monique Wray, known professionally as Nicole Wray, was born on May 2, 1979 in Salinas, California. Nicole grew up as the star singer of her church choir. During her teenage years, she was introduced to then upcoming rapper Missy Elliott, who was looking for a female singer to sign to her own recording label. Nicole impressed Missy by performing SWV's song Weak and became the first recording artist on Missy's label, as well as securing a distribution deal. In '98, her debut single, Make It Hot, was released under the mentorship of Missy Elliott. The single was a big hit and quickly rose to number 5 on Billboard's Hot 100. receiving certified gold status within 6 weeks of its release for a total of over 700,000 copies sold. Following the success of her debut single, she released her debut album of the same name, which featured collaborations with acclaimed producers such as Timbaland and Rodney Jerkins. After releasing the album, Wray toured as the opening act and background vocalist for Missy Elliott's concert tour. Nicole soon hit trouble during the production of her upcoming second studio album. After numerous delays, Nicole ultimately left the label, which led to her works being shelved. In 2004, Nicole secured a recording contract with Rockefeller Records, and in November of 2004, she dropped her single, If I Was Your Girlfriend. It became a fan favorite as the single spent 20 weeks on the R&B charts, but ultimately peaked at 57. The song was a standout track, drawing comparisons to iconic artists like Mary J. Blige. Despite low chart numbers, it still received significant airplay on radio stations and television. Nicole was inevitably lost in the shuffle of the music business, and her project was again shelved. Not easily deterred, Nicole still pursued music independently. In recent years, Nicole Wray has re-emerged under the moniker Lady Wray. She has since released new music and continues to perform at festivals cross-country and overseas internationally. Number 7, JoJo. Joanna, known professionally as JoJo, was born on December 20th, 1990 in Brattleboro, Vermont. JoJo showed talent in singing and performing at an early age. She began performing in singing competitions and local talent shows as a child. In 2003, record producer Vincent Herbert noticed her after she competed on the television show America's Most Talented Kids and invited her to audition, where he later signed her. In 2004, JoJo entered the music scene with her self-titled debut album, which showcased her incredible vocal range and maturity beyond her years. The album spawned the hit singles Leave, Get Out, and Baby It's You, both of which charted well internationally. JoJo's debut album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 chart, making her the youngest solo artist to have a number 1 single in the United States at the age of 13. Her powerful vocal performances garnered public praise and critical acclaim, establishing her as a rising star in both R&B and pop genres. JoJo's sophomore album, The High Road, followed in 2006, featuring the hit singles Too Little Too Late and How to Touch a Girl. Despite her success, JoJo's career, the damage to her musical career had already been done. She fought tirelessly for her creative freedom and the ability to release new music on her own terms. JoJo had been determined to make up for lost time. And in recent years, JoJo has experienced a career resurgence after regaining control of her music. She released her 4th studio album, Good to Know, in 2020. A tour supporting the album was set to begin in April 2021, but was later canceled due to the pandemic. In 2021, JoJo competed on the 5th season of The Masked Singer as Black Swan. She finished in 2nd place and was the first female runner-up on the show. On September 24th, 2021, Blackground Records, JoJo's ex-label, and Empire Distribution re-released JoJo's original debut album to streaming services. The re-releases took JoJo by quite a surprise. JoJo does not profit financially from these re-releases, and she instead encouraged fans to listen to her 2018 re-recordings of the albums, instead writing on Twitter. A stream of the re-recorded 2018 version supports me and helps me continue to do what I love. Streaming the original unfortunately does not. On October 1st, 2021, JoJo released her 6th studio album, Trying Not to Think About It, which was preceded by the single Worst I Assume. It was followed by a 6-date tour, which started the next day. In 2023, JoJo made her big Broadway debut in the leading role of Satine in Moulin Rouge, the musical. JoJo announced earlier this year in an interview with people at the Billboard Women in Music event that she will release new music later in the year, as well as her first memoir. Number 6, Brooke Valentine. Brooke Valentine was born on October 5th, 1984, in Houston, Texas. She started her career as a member of the female group Best Kept Secret to pursue a solo career with her debut album, Chain Letter, in 2005. The album featured the unexpected hit single Girl Fight, which soared to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The song's infectious energy and edgy hook propelled Brooke Valentine into the spotlight, earning her widespread notice and airplay, establishing her as a rising star in urban music. her sound blending elements of R&B, hip-hop, and pop to create a sound uniquely her own. Brooke recorded a follow-up second album titled Physical Education under her then label Virgin Records. But before it could be released, Virgin Records merged with Capitol Records, and Brooke's new project became a casualty of the label's merger and restructuring, causing her to fall in roster priority and thus completely halting her career momentum. However, Brooke Valentine remains a recognizable figure of the Y2K era. She has since regained visibility through her appearances on the reality television show Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, where she shares her personal life, relationship drama, and music career journey. Number 5, Kelis. Kelis Rogers, known professionally as Kelis, was born on August 21, 1979, in Harlem, New York City. She attended New York's LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts, where she learned to play the saxophone and won a spot in the Girls' Choir of Harlem. Upon graduation, Kelis soon entered the music industry as a background singer. She soon began working with the Neptunes, who led her to sign with Virgin Records in 1998. Kelis first gained widespread recognition with her debut album Kaleidoscope in 1999, which featured the hit single Caught Out There. Known for her bold fashion sense and eclectic musical style, Kelis quickly became a prominent figure and icon in the urban music scene. Her distinctive raw vocals, colorful style, and experimental sound set her apart from her contemporaries, earning her critical acclaim and a loyal fan base. Kelis continued to push artistic boundaries with subsequent albums like Wonderland and Tasty, which produced her biggest hit, Milkshake. This Neptunes-produced hit went on to chart at number 3 on the Billboard charts and became a certified pop culture phenomena, being commercially used in television, film, and national ads. Its inventive, futuristic synth-funk beat paired with its undeniably catchy hook cemented Kelis' star power and iconic sound. She went on to release her second biggest hit, Bossy, which furthered her unique blend of R&B, hip-hop, and dance. She gained significant media attention for her marriage to rapper Nas in 2005. However, the couple's relationship ended in a very public divorce in 2010, following a highly publicized legal battle. In addition to her music career, she has ventured into the beauty industry with her Bounty and Full brand, offering natural skincare and hair care products under the Beyond Organic Beauty umbrella. She is also a classically trained chef, having graduated from Le Cordon Bleu. She has since launched her own line of condiments and sauces and also authored several cookbooks, including My Life on a Plate, Recipes from Around the World, showcasing her passion for cooking and culinary exploration. In recent years, she was embroiled in controversy with Beyoncé over the use of a sample from her song Who's That Girl in Beyoncé's Renaissance track, Energy. The sample has since been removed from the song following her public disapproval of its usage. Kelis' multifaceted career reflects her ongoing commitment to artistic expression, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Number 4, Christina Milian. Christina Milian, born of Afro-Cuban descent on September 26, 1981, in Jersey City, New Jersey. She signed to Murder Inc. at the early age of 19 under Irv Gotti. In 2001, Christina released her self-titled album, which featured the singles AM to PM and When You Look at Me, which charted within the top 40 of the US Billboard Hot 100. In 2002, she performed the theme song Call Me, Beep Me for Disney Channel's animated series Kim Possible. And in 2004, she released her second studio album, It's About Time, which provided her first major US hit, Dip It Low, which reached number 5 on Billboard. In 2006, she released her third studio album, So Amazing. The album produced one single, Say I, featuring rapper Young Jeezy, which peaked in the top 30 of the US Billboard chart. A month after the album release, Christina left her then label Island Records due to creative differences. Christina has said she originally wanted to be an actress. Her first lead role was in the 2003 film Love Don't Cost a Thing alongside Nick Cannon, and she subsequently had lead roles in Be Cool and the 2006 horror film Pulse. She managed to book a few minor roles throughout the years, but ultimately found more success within music. In early 2009, Christina began dating super music producer The Dream. The couple soon became engaged, and their whirlwind romance captured the attention of the media. They got married later that year in September in a lavish ceremony in Las Vegas. However, their marriage was short-lived, as they separated in late 2009 after just a few months. Christina filed for divorce in 2010, citing irreconcilable differences. Today, they maintain a co-parenting relationship with their 14-year-old daughter. In July 2014, it was rumored she was dating rapper Lil Wayne, with whom she attended an awards ceremony with. They later confirmed their relationship in mid-2015, after which they received criticism from their interconnected exes, singer Nivea and songwriter The Dream. They split in August 2015 after collaborating on various singles, videos, and concert dates. In 2015, she starred in her own reality TV series on the E! Network titled Christina Milian Turned Up. The show was discontinued after a 2-year, 2-season run. She has since started her journey as an entrepreneur and co-founded and co-owns Beignet Box, a dessert shop in the Los Angeles area. She is now enjoying family time and married life once again after tying the knot in 2020 to Matt Pokora, a French pop singer. Number 3, Lil Mo. Cynthia Karen Loving, known professionally as Lil Mo, was born on November 19, 1978, in Long Island, New York. She grew up with a military father, which led to her and her family moving often during her childhood. She always had a love for singing and grew up with a heavy gospel influence. When she became an adult, she wasted no time moving to Manhattan to pursue a singing career. Lil Mo, being regarded as Missy Elliott's protege, was discovered by Missy after hearing demo material she submitted to be a part of Nicole Wray's upcoming project. Missy saw her talent and helped foster a record deal for Lil Mo. Missy Elliott was quick to feature this raw new artist on her new single Hot Boys, which grew to break multiple records, spending 18 weeks at #1 on the Hot Rap Singles chart from December 4th, 1999 to March 25th, 2000. Lil Mo was instantly put on the map. She further gained recognition for her collaborations with prominent artists like Ja Rule and Jay-Z, contributing to hit singles such as Put It On Me, and quickly becoming a highly sought-after feature artist of the 2000s era. Put It On Me earned her her first career Grammy nomination. Lil Mo went on to release her debut album based on a true story in 2001, which spawned the singles Tada and the smash hit Superwoman Part 2 featuring then unknown rapper Fabulous, which has been credited as launching his career. That same year, Mo began preparations for her second album, Meet the Girl Next Door. The album was released in 2003, preceded by the singles Forever and 10 Commandments. While Mo promoted the singles on shows such as Jimmy Kimmel and Soul Train, she would later criticize her label for their lack of support and minimal promotion of the album, which she attributed to her being pregnant at the time. Mo's contract expired as the label was absorbed by Atlantic Records, and in July 2004, she signed with Universal's Cash Money Records to record her third album, then titled Syndicated, The Lil Mo Hour. The album was scheduled for an early 2005 release before being pushed back to October after its 4 singles, including Hot Girls and Dem Boys, failed to create any buzz. Following the destruction of Cash Money's New Orleans studio by Hurricane Katrina, Lil Mo was dropped from the Cash Money roster and the album was shelved. After that setback, Lil Mo was still determined to release new music, and over the coming years managed to drop 2 more albums independently. Both considered commercial failures, selling less than 10,000 copies. The talent was there, she just lacked the proper support of a major label. I personally believe her sound and musical styling was very specific to the late 90s and early 2000s, and the mishandling of her career in 2004 and 2005 ultimately led to her missing the boat on what could have potentially been a larger success. By the time she was back releasing mainstream music in 2008 and in 2011, her signature sound had already trended out. In 2013, Mo became a cast member of the reality television series R&B Divas Los Angeles, which premiered on TV One. The season's reunion special garnered a total of 834,000 viewers, tying with the debut of the sitcom The Ricky Smiley Show as the network's #1 telecast in TV One history. Lil Mo continued her career as a TV personality, joining the cast of VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York and appearing in WeTV's Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars 12, Hip Hop Edition. She has since released music independently, but none as commercially successful as in her earlier career. Number 2, Nivea. Nivea B. Hamilton was born on March 24th, 1982, in Atlanta, Georgia. Nivea was the youngest of 3 sisters. She sang in a church choir and grew up admiring the music of Mariah Carey. She was a shy child, so much so that she grew up afraid to let anyone hear her sing. Nivea grew into her confidence as a singer and hit the scene in the year 2000, first appearing on Mystikal's hit single, Danger, Been So Long. Though most people still didn't know who she was at the time, the buzz of that single was enough to secure her a deal with Jive Records in 2001. She wasted no time, quickly releasing her debut solo single, Don't Mess With The Radio, in 2001, which saw only slightly moderate success, peaking at number 90 on the Hot 100. In February 2002, Nivea started dating rapper Lil Wayne, who she credits as her first love. She and her label went back to the drawing board, and in August 2002, she released her second single, Don't Mess With My Man, featuring Brian and Brandon Casey of the R&B group Jagged Edge. And it was a big hit, peaking at number 8 on the Hot 100 and fueling album sales of her debut. On the heels of her newfound success, Lil Wayne proposed to Nivea on December 11th, 2002, and they became engaged. The following year, Don't Mess With My Man was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals, giving Nivea her first Grammy nomination. The album's third single, Laundromat, featured singer R. Kelly and starred comedian Nick Cannon playing her love interest in the music video. The single became another hit for the singer, peaking at number 20 on R&B and number 58 on the Hot 100. Unfortunately, that same year in August, Lil Wayne called off their engagement. Following the success of her first album, she began work on her second studio album, using her heartbreak as inspiration for the album. During a studio session, she was introduced to songwriter and producer The Dream. They instantly hit it off and shortly began dating as they worked on her forthcoming album together. And in 2004, they decided to get married. In 2005, she released the project's lead single, Okay, which featured Youngbloods and Lil Jon. The single became her next hit, peaking at number 14 on R&B charts. That May, she released her second album, Complicated, which peaked at number 9 on the R&B charts. A second single, Parking Lot, was then released shortly before she got pregnant by The Dream with their firstborn child. Nivea soon found herself pregnant once again in 2006, this time with twin boys. Jive Records subsequently dropped promotion for the project following her pregnancy, although she did appear on Soul Train the following year and performed Complicated, which was originally planned to be the third single. After her departure from the label, she gave birth to her twins in April. That same year, she began work on her next studio album and signed a new contract with Formula Records. The Dream helped creatively lead her third album project, titled Animalistic, which ended up being released exclusively in Japan in 2006 as plans for a US release were shelved. Nivea decided to take a step back from music and focus on raising her family. But not long after, in 2008, did Nivea and The Dream ultimately get a divorce. After her divorce, in 2007, Nivea reconciled with her ex-fiancé, Lil Wayne. In June 2009, it was rumored that Nivea and Lil Wayne were engaged and expecting a child together. And on October 14, 2009, Lil Wayne confirmed that he and Nivea were indeed expecting a son together. Nivea gave birth to their son on November 30th, 2009, and in June of 2010, Nivea and Lil Wayne broke off their engagement for the second time. Nivea battled personal challenges with depression and drug use, but with support from family and loved ones, was able to maintain her sobriety, and after over a decade away from music, she released her fourth studio album entitled Mirrors. It was largely a digital release and didn't receive much promotion, mostly going unnoticed by mainstream media. In 2021, Nivea appeared on the reality show BET Presents The Encore alongside the select former girl group members of Black 702, Cherish, Danity Kane, 3, LW, a series documenting the ladies' challenge to form a supergroup. In 2023, Nivea was joined by Tamar Braxton and Evelyn Lozada on Peacock's Queen's Court series, a dating show meant to help these three high-profile women find love. Number 1. Amerie Rogers was born on January 12, 1980, in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Growing up in a military family, Amerie lived in various locations around the world, including Germany and South Korea, exposing her to diverse cultures and musical influences that would later shape her unique sound. She grew up to enlist in the Navy Reserves herself while attending Georgetown University, where she graduated with a degree in English and Fine Arts, but not before being introduced to music producer Rich Harrison through a club promoter. Rich played a few tracks for Amerie as she sang along, and instantly they knew they were onto something special. They hit the studio and started recording demos together, which led to her getting signed with Columbia Records. Amerie recorded the chorus for the 2001 single Rule, performed by Nas. In 2002, her debut single, Why Don't We Fall in Love, became a timeless classic. The song peaked at number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming a top 10 hit on urban radio charts. Amerie's debut album, All I Have, produced and co-written in its entirety by Rich Harrison, was released to positive reviews and peaked at number 9. In 2003, Amerie won the Soul Train Music Award for Best New Artist and was also nominated for Best R&B Soul Album for All I Have and Best R&B Soul Single for Why Don't We Fall in Love. She received a nomination for Best Female R&B Artist and an Image Award nomination for Outstanding New Artist. Amerie lent her vocals to the LL Cool J song Paradise, which also reached number 14 on the Hot R&B and Hip Hop charts and became the singer's second top 40 Hot 100 entry. In 2005, Amerie released her upcoming sophomore album's lead single, One Thing. The go-go dance pop record became Amerie's biggest hit to date. In the United States, it reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topped the Hot R&B and Hip Hop charts. The song became an international hit too, as a top 5 hit in the UK, where it became one of the year's best-selling singles and attained top 10 and top 20 positions across continental Europe. It was a success that almost didn't happen, as Columbia originally heard the song and loved it so much that they wanted to give the track to JoJo instead, who at the time was a much bigger artist. But Amerie fought back and went behind the label's back to hand, delivered the record to local DJs and radio stations. Its airplay under Amerie's name and voice forced the label to let her keep the song for herself. The second and third singles, Touch and Talking About, failed to reach similar success, but the Touch album still went on to be a success commercially thanks to the massive popularity of the lead single One Thing. The success of One Thing and Touch led to 2 Grammy Award nominations for Amerie in 2006 for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance and Best Contemporary R&B Album. But it didn't stop there. One Thing also earned nominations at the MTV Video Music Awards for Best Female Video and Best Choreography, and Soul Train Lady of Soul Awards for Best R&B Soul Single of the Year, Best R&B Soul Music Video, and Best R&B Soul Dance Cut. At the 2005 Vibe Awards, Amerie won Club Banger of the Year for her hit for One Thing, which was adapted into a variety of remixes by rappers such as Eve, Fabulous, and Jay-Z. In 2009, the song was 6th on the Roots list of top 10 hip-hop and R&B songs of the 2000s. One Thing simply became the gift that kept on giving, and Amerie had proved herself to be a star that was here to stay. She had it all going for her: beauty, stage presence, a hit record, and a sound all her own. Unfortunately, when Amerie went to launch her third studio album, she found herself lacking label support and the input of Rich Harrison. It was her first project ever without his influence, and Columbia Records kept delaying the US release of both her singles and album, ultimately resulting in poor promotion and failed commercial success. Now my guess is that it was the label's way of getting back at her for undermining their original plans to give One Thing to JLo. They were forced to let her have her way, but ultimately set out to have the last laugh. It was a decision that cost her the label support. What do you guys think? Drop down in the comments if you agree. I'd like to hear your thoughts. So, after parting ways with Columbia, Amerie found herself under a new label and production deal with Def Jam, allowing her to release her own music. Amerie described her fourth album, In Love and War, as a fusion of hip-hop, soul, and rock, with elements of music of the 1970s. The album's lead single, Why Are You, reached number 55 on Billboard. Heard 'Em All, which featured rapper Lil Wayne, peaked at number 81 on the same chart. It did, however, enter the top 10 on the Korean pop charts. With little radio support, the third single, Pretty Brown, featuring Trey Songz, was released only 2 weeks before the album. Hindered by distribution problems, the album peaked at number 46 on the Billboard 200 and at number 3 on the top R&B and hip-hop albums chart. Amerie has since operated as an independent artist, releasing digital EPs such as The Prelude and Drive. In 2018, she dropped 2 sister EPs that combined to make a full-length album. Though sonically, it was quite a departure from her former established sound, and fans had fairly mixed reviews. Since taking a step back from music, Amerie has ventured into entrepreneurship with the launch of her own businesses, including a skincare line called Amerie Beauty and a lifestyle brand offering products and services that promote self-care and empowerment. Amerie has also authored several books, including Because You Love to Hate Me and Cursed. She hosts a podcast titled The Amerie Show and runs a YouTube channel under the same name, where she shares lifestyle vlogs, book recommendations, and beauty tutorials. Amerie is currently married to Lenny Nicholson, a former Columbia Records executive, and they have 2 children together. She's been focused on her role as a wife and mother, prioritizing her family life while pursuing her creative endeavors. So how many Y2K singers did you remember? Comment below and be sure to share and watch our latest videos for more urban uploads.